So we are the last. We know it's a difficult task and we are very happy you are still here with us. And we can start our presentation. So we wanted to start from a little imagination game. So imagine a city where the social change is triggered by its inhabitants and where this change is triggered by tools of new media and new technologies. Of course, you don't have to imagine that because that's what all of you do. And that's also what we decided to do, and this is our story.
So, once upon a time in a distant city of Antwerp, there was the Evans Foundation, an organization which main goal was living harmoniously together in Europe. And that's us. And this living harmoniously together in Europe wasn't just a vague ideal. It was quite serious aim, and we wanted to seek to achieve it by working in a very practical ways, also on the grounds of media education. And to do that, we established our media program, and this program seeks to develop literacy, particularly among young people, because we believe them to be the citizens of the future. So what we do, we actively support projects that empower citizens with both critical thinking but also creative problem-solving skills. We want to make them kind of conscious consumers but also producers of information. So in this way, we really want to help to create more responsible, aware, active citizens. And we try to think globally, but we also act locally. And we are trying to have a closer look at current needs of communities or societies. And such societies that actually make the real change happen. And also we want to support those people and those organizations who are the motors of this change.
And in the meantime, in Warsaw, there was Creative Initiative Association L. And we are a Polish NGO. We work in Warsaw, but we also work all over Poland. And we actually work on two different layers. On one hand, I actually have it on my hand, not to forget the keywords. So on one hand, we work like a think tank. And what we do is we promote new models of culture, and we are also searching for new solutions in culture. Of course, we don't do it by ourselves. We do it collectively by meeting and working with different NGOs and institutions. And on the other hand, what we do is we run some sort of the laboratory of socially involved cultural projects. So we support local cultural institutions, local leaders, local change makers, and we support them with grants, but we also support them with our knowledge and our experience by mentoring, tutoring, coaching, and we help them to work better for their local communities. How we do that? On one hand, we run a network of flying culture animators. This is around 70 people with very, very different backgrounds, from art, starting from art and finishing on social skills and sociology. And they fly all around Poland and not only Poland, and they support these local leaders in implementing changes and new ways of thinking. We also publish books. Every time we want to share our experience. So one of our most beloved babies right now is like a set of around 100 manuals, scenarios of good practices, which can be inspiring for other organizations and initiatives. And we do it locally, but we also do it internationally. Now, we are a member of the International Darknet Network, which strives for social justice, and we use tools of media to create more open, more inclusive culture. And our friends from Darknet Network are here. You met Felipe and Ruben. There is also MediaWise. Hello. So it's always nice to meet again here.
And so our two organizations met, it somehow clicked, and together we decided to answer a quite important question, which is how can media and media literacy change reality around us?
So on the common table, we put a few different keywords. We of course started from people. So we knew there is this whole bunch of people we wanted to work with: young people, creators, media educators, people who were in theory and practice in media literacy. But what they really have in common is that they want to use tools of media for social change. And we had another keyword which were media. So we were asking ourselves a question: how can we connect these keywords? How can we work with people to use tools of media for social change? And this is how we aim up to the idea of Warsaw Lab.
So in this project, in Warsaw Lab, Wawa Lab, on the one hand, we decided to work with youngsters, with young inhabitants of Warsaw. We might call them digital natives. So people who grew up surrounded by new media tools, who use them somehow intuitively, both for their entertainment, but also to build their kind of social relations.
So what we actually did, we ran a series of workshops where we taught them how to use tools of media, which they already know pretty well, but how to use them to explore, describe, and to change Warsaw.
So they learned how to create and edit visual stories about Warsaw inhabitants.
They used video and Aurasma to speak about this multi-layered, complex history of Warsaw.
They also learned how to use various graphic programs to clean the city from all these, hideous outdoor advertisements.
Yeah, that was a very hot topic in Warsaw, so we decided also to work on that. We also used Arduino technologies to create a mechanism which can be useful for people to make their life better and safer.
They also learned how to create internet content and how to actually put it online, but in a very responsible, very ethical way.
That among all of these media workshops, they were meeting a whole bunch of people, of local change makers, of social activists, of representatives of formal and informal initiatives in Warsaw, and they were talking to them, knowing their city better and better, but also asking them, how do you think tools of media can help in your work?
And the effects of our common work, which were like photos and videos, stories, podcasts, links, they were all put in on our interactive map of Warsaw. So we can all see the results of this project on this website.
But the other group we were working with was the group of media educators, of representatives of formal and informal educational institutions and culture institutions. And we were meeting them in various occasions, and we were thinking together how actually tools of media can be used in culture, in education, and in social activism.
And we also took our interest in wider audience, simply inhabitants of Warsaw, interested, of course, in media literacy somehow. And for them, we run a series of highly popular open workshops and meetings.
And what was from the very beginning important for us is to not close ourselves in a very local context, but to think all the time how to scale up our project, our program, our thinking.
And this is why we actually see Warsaw Lab, Wawa Lab not as a single project, but a kind of replicable model, which actually can be implemented by each one of you in different communities, in different societies, cities, and countries.
So Wawa Lab is actually a model of city laboratory. And I will read it because put it in right words, where different groups of citizens are expanding their media literacy competences, and they use them to define their needs and to make the actual change around them.
And what we are doing right now is somehow striving on tangible results of this project, and we are working on a manual that will actually show you how this change can be made in your own environments, both online and offline.
So today and tomorrow we are also open for questions and networking, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.